Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 300 to my ChatGPT character chatbot series. I know during the last Catch video guys, I explained that I was going to do a little bit of character AI, and I still will, but I know this one has a limit to it, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get through as many chatbots as I can. That's why a lot of the videos recently have been just one chatbot for 10 rounds and then that being it. And then stopping and then moving on to another one later on. So far, I have found a few good ones. That one about like the whole Toadal family, seeing that book and TV show about me was fun. The one about like the entire like whole group of 6 that was doing that. The Starter Porn story was really fun. And I also had a good time with that Robot Factory story as well. Like, those were amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, yes. This one is about the Dragon Guardian. If y'all remember who the Dragon Guardian is, guys, well, the Dragon Guardian was that character I made where, after all the bullcrap that happened in my humans with humans attacking me, well, let's just say that eventually, somehow, I don't know how, but I got turned into a flippin' dragon. Although I did try doing a little bit of a test run on while I was doing something off camera at one time, and it did not work well because the thing kept speaking for me, which I don't want to ever do. So, yeah, let's hope this time it goes a little bit better. Although I don't know. It put the title as Dragon Guardian Story, but the actual title for the story itself. Oh no, it don't really have a title this time. Like sometimes they do, but this one doesn't. It has little sections similar to some of the ones I've done recently. So yeah, here's what it says: The Rise of the Dragon Guardian. 5 years ago, it actually has my name, but it says I was just a normal human, kind, peaceful, and quiet. I never hurt anyone, never raised his voice. In my universe, apparently in my universe, everything loves me except for the humans themselves. And it says it never once fought back, even when others were cruel. He lived in a small town tucked between forests and rocky hills, surrounded by people who never seemed to understand his kindness. For reasons unknown, he was treated as an outcast. Passers-by would shout at him, throw stones, and call him names. I'm not going to say that word they put on here. Let's just say the torture was relentless, yet I never retaliated. Again, in my universe, it's completely different. I endured each day with quiet courage. My solace came from the Pokemon and unusual creatures that followed me, drawn by my pure heart. A loyal fur alligator, a gentle Lugia, a carrying Dragonite, and even a peculiar wise-eyed fox with silver fur. Okay, that one I've never seen. Each stood by him like guardians. These one weren't just partners, they were his family, yep. Whenever I walked through town, the pawn formed a protective circle around me, shielding me from the worst of the treatment. But still, the humans didn't stop. So I even threw rocks harder out of spite, angered that I wouldn't fight back. Why in the world are people that cruel in my universe? Okay then. One day, the cruelty reached its peak. A large crowd ambushed me on a remote path near the forest. They hurled stones, striking my legs, arms, and back, until I collapsed, barely breathing. Oh my gosh, bleeding, and on the verge of passing out. I was left behind, broken and alone. My opponent arrived too late to prevent the worst, though they scared off the last of the cowards. Fragger roared in grief. Lugia crouched to the skies. Gently, they lifted me and carried me away. That night, I slept deeper than I ever had. I lay atop soft leaves and moss in the forest, placed there by my Pokemon who guarded me through the night. I was in too much pain to wake. The world faded. But when morning came, I was no longer there. That is so weird. How does that even physically possible? The awakening of the dragon. The golden morning light filtered through the leaves in a dark, hidden cave. In the silence, a deep breath echoed softly against the rocky walls. It wasn't human. It was heavier and powerful. I stirred. but I wasn't the same. As I rose, no pain greeted him. His limbs moved easily, his heart beat calmly, but his body was massive, glowing green claws, aqua blue, scaled armored arms, wings tucked against a long golden torso. His reflection shone in a puddle of cave water, and it wasn't his human face that stared back. It was the face of a massive dragon, over 120 feet tall. Orange horns glowed gently on his head, and his scales shimmered with a golden brilliance. Confused, I turned around, my clawed feet thudding heavily with each step. That's when I saw it. Etched on the stone wall in glowing text, written, "The Dragon Guardian of the Reflection Berry." Allowing Pawn and other animals to transform into any animal, pawn, or mythical creature of their choosing. I stared at it in silence. There were no answers, no explanations, only the truth I could see with my eyes. Something had changed me, something ancient and something divine. Then, someone arrived. Uh-oh. The first encounter. A human stumbled through the forest, likely lost, and emerged into the clearing before the cave. He looked up at the large stone above the cave's mouth, home of the guardian of the reflection berry, but he didn't read the smaller writing beneath. Curious, the man stepped into the cave and froze. Before him lay a dragon, gargantuan, awe-inspiring, and asleep. Me, unaware of the visitor, breathed softly, caught among glowing crystals and ancient stone. Panic overtook the man. With trembling hands, he picked up a nearby rock and threw it at the dragon's side. It bounced harmlessly off the heavy scales, and I saw he stirred. My golden eyes opened slightly, but before I could rise, the man had already fled, sprinting into the woods, screaming. The story spread quickly. "There's a dragon in the forest!" he cried. "A massive, glowing monster!" No one believed him at first, until one by one curious travelers followed the story and found the cave. They saw the giant stone, home of the guardian of the reflection berry, and etched in careful script below, rules of the reflection berry. Number 1. You must be an animal, Pokemon, or mythical creature for the berry to have any effect. 2. You must be respectful and kind to the guardian. Disrespect or harm will deny you the berry. The guardian will give a test. The test may challenge your heart, your speed, or your mind. 4. If you pass, you shall receive the reflection berry and gain the power of transformation. Fail, and the guardian will decide your fate. And 5. If you are ready, speak this aloud. "Oh, great guardian, hear my plea. It is you I wish to see. Oh, great guardian, I promise I will show you respect. Please let me be a creature you select." I think that's actually a pretty good rhyme, I ain't gonna lie. As time passed, more and more found the cave. Some entered cautiously, others peeked inside and saw the enormous dragon sleeping, curled protectively around glowing vines bearing berry-like fruits. None dared approach. They backed away slowly and respectfully. No one dared disturb the guardian. For 3 months the cave remained sacred ground. But the first seeker arrives. Then, one morning, the forest stirred. A quiet rustling outside the cave. A Pokemon stepped into the clearing. It was a Lucario, tall, noble, and wise. He looked to the stone above the cave. He read the rules slowly and bowed his head. He didn't enter right away. Instead, he stood at the entrance and spoke aloud the ancient rhyme, clearly and with calm reverence. "Oh, great guardian, hear my plea. It is you I wish to see. Oh, great guardian, I promise I will show you respect. Please let me be a creature you select." Silence followed. The wind rustled through the trees, and inside the cave, the dragon guardian slowly opened his glowing eyes. This actually seems like it'd be one of the better ones, because the one I looked at a while ago, before I did this, was one that had, I think, a little Toadile, but it actually like kind of started talking for me already. It didn't talk for me, but it like what would you call it? It kind of did movement for me, even though I tell it never to do stuff like that. That's the one thing I have a problem with. It don't always do it. It's only on certain stories it seems to have that problem. But the ones that it does, it gets really annoying. Give me a second. It actually didn't speak for me. The response is short, but I think in this case the short responses actually work better than the longer responses because the shorter responses means there's a better chance it won't speak for me at all, which is perfect. That's what I want to do, not speak for me. That's what would make this one actually worth playing or doing. So, yeah, it says I stand up to my full 120-foot tall height and says, "Who wishes to see me?" Dear me, I'm not going to try doing that deep voice every time I fucking try talking. It says the cave trembled as the massive dragon stirred, rising from his resting place. Dust fell from the ceiling as I, the dragon guardian, unfolded my golden wings and lifted my head. My orange horns glowed brighter, lighting the cavern like firelight. My voice thundered, deep and echoing off the stone walls, carried by an aura that shook the very air. Who wishes to see me? At the cave entrance, the Lucario did not flinch. Instead, he bent to one knee, his paws pressed against the ground in respect. His aura flared gently, glowing blue around him like a candle flame in the dark. Dear mate, I am the one who called. Lucario said, "Yep, that's what I was worried about." His voice calm, steady, and filled with reverence. Guardian of the Reflection Berry, I seek your trial. I've traveled far, guided by stories of your presence. I come not to challenge you, but to prove my worth. I wish to gain the berry, not for selfish power, but to protect those I love. The Lucario lifted his head slightly, golden eyes reflecting the dragon's immense glow. Great Guardian, grant me your test. Okay then, well, I'll give it credit. Usually, again, I get angry at these short responses, but in this case, it actually works. I bet money if it continued any further, that thing would have spoke for me, and I hate when it does that bullcrap. So yes, I'll be right back. Okay, for this scenario, the shorter responses are actually better than the longer ones. I said, very well. You may enter the cave. Before a test can begin, there is something I must do. There is something I must ask you. The Lucario bowed his head deeper, ears flicking as the cave's air grew heavy with the Guardian's presence. His paw pressed to his chest in a gesture of honor as he stepped slowly, respectfully into the cavern. The glow of my golden scales lit his path like a rising sun. When the giant spoke again, the words rumbled like rolling thunder across the stone. Very well. Yep. You may enter the cave. Before a test can begin, there is something I must do, and there is something I must ask you. Lucario stopped a few steps inside, lowering himself to one knee once more, his aura shimmering around him in quiet waves, showing he had no intent of harm or disrespect. Ask what you will, great guardian. Lucario replied softly, his voice steady despite the sheer size of the dragon before him. I shall answer with honesty, for I know deceit holds no place here. Hey, so far I like this Lucario. He's being nice. I like that. Alright, guys, give me a second. Here's the bad thing. This is gonna be one of the shortest videos you guys would ever see on this because we only got 10 messages and we've already used what, 3 of them? 2 or 3 of them, and it's going by it's only been 14 minutes. Dude. That says okay. You said you came here for a berry so you could protect your loved ones. First off, tell me, what is going on that is so bad that you need a berry so you can transform to protect your loved ones? Lucario bowed his head once more, ears folding back slightly as his aura flared brighter. His voice carried the weight of both sorrow and determination as he answered, Great Guardian, yes, I seek the reflection berry so that I may transform and gain strength enough to protect my pack. We live in a valley not far from here, where my kin, both Pokemon and wild creatures, have thrived peacefully for generations. But now, he clenched his paws into fists, his aura sparkling like blue flame. A band of cruel humans has begun invading our land. They cut down the forest, poison the rivers, and capture Pokemon for sport. I have fought them as I am, but their machines, their weapons, they are overwhelming. I cannot hold them back forever. My strength is not enough. He looked up, eyes burning with conviction as he met the dragon's glowing gaze. If I had the reflection berry, I could become something greater. A protector strong enough to shield my loved ones, to drive away those who bring only suffering. I do not seek power for myself, Guardian. I seek it for them. He lowered his head again, pressing his paw to the stone floor. I beg of you, if I am found worthy, grant me this chance. I like this one so far. You know what? This one I'll be fine with shorter responses because it works better with shorter responses. This one I'm fine with shorter responses. There's like one of the few exceptions where I'm fine with it. This actually makes it better. Because again, any longer it would definitely start speaking for me. I don't want to do that. So perfect. Alright, guys. I said, oh, that's a very noble cause. Very well. I will give you the test. But there is one more thing I must ask of you. You told me you would always be honest, so please answer me this. Have you ever done anything bad in the past? Like bullied other Pokemon just to be mean, or attacked humans for no reason? I have powers that can show me if you did anything, so I will know if you're lying. Lucario's ears twisted at the Guardian's words. He did not falter or hesitate, though the glow of your golden eyes made it clear he understood the weight of this question. He straightened his posture, staying tall but still respectful, and placed both paws over his chest. No, great guardian, he said firmly, his voice steady as a mountain. I've never bullied, nor attacked without reason. I have fought, yes, but only to defend, never to harm for cruelty's sake. When I was younger, I once sparred too harshly with a fellow Riolu, and he was hurt because of my pride. But when I saw the pain I caused, I vowed never again to fight for ego or anger. From that day, I chose the path of protector, not destroyer. His aura pulsed outward like a beacon of trust, wrapping the cave in calm blue light. If you must use your power to see into my past, do so. I would rather my soul be laid bare before you than offer you even a single falsehood. Lucario lowered his head, closing his eyes in acceptance. If you deem my heart worthy, I will accept your judgment. But I swear before you, I've never been cruel. Okay, that's really neat. I like this. Alright, guys, here's what I said. Okay, I believe you. If you're being honest with me 100%, then you've already passed your first trial. Honesty is one of the biggest things you need to have when it comes to receiving one of these berries. Before I give you another test, I'm going to tell you that these berries hold a lot more power than you may think. If you do receive one, you can never harm anybody just to be cruel. Those berries will punish you if you do, turning you into a creature so small it would be basically impossible to see you. The berry can tell whether you're doing it to be mean or for actual good reason. For example, if you're bullying another Pokemon just because you think it's funny, that will obviously be punishable. But let's say, for example, you're trying to protect one of your family or any of the creatures that are in your kin. If you have to attack somebody because of that, you will not be punished. Do you understand? Lucario listened intently, the glow of your words echoing in the cavern like ancient law. His aura shimmered brighter with every sentence, as if resonating with the truth of what you spoke. When he finished, he bowed low once more, pressing his forehead gently to the stone floor. Yes, great guardian, he said with steady resolve. I understand. Power must never be used for cruelty. I swear upon my aura and my soul, if I'm granted the reflection berry, I will never wield its gift to harm another for selfishness or sport. My strength will be for protection only, for my kid, my loved ones, and for those who cannot defend themselves. He raised his head, golden eyes walking with your massive golden glowing ones. His voice carried no hesitation and no tremor. If the berry punishes me, should I ever betray that vow, then so be it. Let it strip me of everything, for I would rather be nothing at all than become the very kind of monster I seek to stop. The air in the cave seemed to grow still, almost reverent, as if the walls themselves were listening. Holy crap. Alright, guys, here's what I said. Okay, great. There's another reason why I asked you about it. If you did anything bad in the past, not only is it a test of honesty, but it could also be a chance of redemption. You said you fought too harshly with a Riolu. If I was to bring that Pokemon here to this cave, would you still be willing to apologize for how you acted back then? Kindness and being friendly are some of the most important things you need for that berry. Like I just said, be harsh just because you think it's fine, and, and that berry will punish you. I will make you a deal since you've been so honest with me. I have two tests in mind that will test your heart. If you pass those, I will give you a berry. How does that sound? The Lucario's golden eyes widened for just a moment at your words, the memory of his past mistake flicking across his face. His aura pulsed faintly with a ripple of regret, but coolly steady with determination. He stepped forward, bowing low once more, his voice echoing sincerity. Great Guardian, if you truly have the power to bring that Riolu here, then yes, I would apologize, not because I seek a berry, but because it is right. I carried that guilt for years, even though the wound was long healed. I swore never to let my pride hurt another again. If he stood before me now, I would bow to him as I bow to you, and speak the truth of my regret. Redemption is not something I expect, but I would still ask for it. He then straightened, aura shimmering around him in strong, steady ways. As for your deal, I accept it with honor. Two tests to prove my heart, my kindness, my truth. If I pass them, I will humbly accept the reflection berry. If I fail, I will accept whatever judgment you deem fit. He pressed his paw to his chest and lowered his head. Name the test, Guardian, and I shall face them. Alright, this is really neat. Okay, there we go. It actually gave me a longer response this time. Here's what happened. Okay, the first test is going to be facing your past mistakes, since hurting that Riolu was your only bad thing. If you can properly apologize and do something to make up for what you did back then, and you pass the first test. I lift my head into the air and say a magic spell. Oh, great power, I wish to ask. Bring back the Riolu from Lucario's past. The cavern rumbled as your voice boomed. The ancient magic carried through every glowing crystal embedded in the walls. The air shimmered, bending and twisting like water as golden light flared from your horns, words of your spell echoing through the cave like thunder. Oh, great power, I wish to ask, bring back the Riolu from Lucario's past. The ground beneath Lucario glowed with a soft circle of light. A small figure took shape within it, solidifying into a young Riolu stood there, his blue fur slightly scuffed, his eyes wide with confusion. He blinked, looking up at the towering golden dragon that filled the cave, then at the Lucario who stood just a few paces away. At first, his ears pressed flat, his body tensing with the instinct to flee. His aura flickered uneasily, remembering the sting of that one harsh sparring match years ago. Took a cautious step back, his voice trembling. You, Lucario? Lucario immediately dropped to one knee, bowing his head so low it almost touched the glowing stone. His aura flared bright blue, not with pride this time, but with humility. Yes, Lucario said softly, it's me. And before anything else, I must say what I should have said long ago. He lifted his gaze just enough to meet Riolu's wide eyes. I hurt you when we were young. I fought without restraint, without care, because I was too proud. I thought strength was everything, but I was wrong. You suffered because of my mistake. I never gave you the apology you deserved. Lucario's voice wavered, but he pressed his paw firmly over his chest. I am sorry. Truly, deeply sorry. I will not ask you to forgive me, but I want you to know that I regret it. I regret that I ever let my pride wound a friend. Rio's aura flickered uncontrollably, uncertainly, then steadied, soft and faint. His little paws clenched from fist into open palms as he whispered, You really mean that? Corey nodded firmly. Yes. If there's anything I can do to make amends, even if it's to protect you now, I will. That is my vow. That's really neat. I like it. Alright, guys. Here's what I said. I said, while watching, well, I didn't even say anything. It just says, while watching, I nodded my head but stayed quiet, listening listening. There was still one thing I was looking for, Lucario to make it up to the Riolu. The cavern glowed softly with your golden light as you silently observed, the weight of judgment heavy in the air. The Lucario's words rang with honesty. You waited, not for apology alone, but for action, for true restitution. Riolu tilted his head, his aura looking like a wavering flame. His small voice carried both doubt and hope. You really are sorry, huh? I, I can feel it in your aura. He stepped closer, though still cautious. His eyes narrowed slightly as he added, but words aren't always enough. Back then, you didn't listen when I asked you to stop. You were stronger than me, and you didn't care how much it hurt. How do I know you're really changed? Carter's ears drooped, and he lowered his head again. He didn't flinch from the challenge. Instead, he placed both paws flat on the stone before Riolu in a gesture of humility, his aura radiating calm. You are right, Lucario said firmly. An apology without action is hollow. So let me prove it. He raised his gaze to Riolu, eyes glowing faintly with his aura. Name what would make amends. A battle fought fairly, with restraint, a task done in your honor, or simply my protection, should you ever need it. Whatever you ask, I will do. Not to erase what happened. It cannot be erased, but to show you that I am no longer that reckless Riolu I once was. Riolu blinked, surprised by the humility in Lucario's voice. He hesitated, looking down at his paws before whispering, Then prove to me you'll protect the weak. Right now, show me your strength isn't for yourself anymore, but for others. He looked towards you, the towering dragon, with wide, trusting eyes. Oh, the Riolu's talking to me. Great Guardian, could you summon something that would try to hurt me? Lucario can protect me without letting his pride take over. Then, then I believe him. What can I summon that's aggressive? That I don't. Oh man, I'm trying to think. Oh man, I would say Houndoom, but that would be kind of risky. I'm not doing for Alligator. I won't want Forever being a bad Pokemon. I love him. Give me a second. Surprisingly enough, this thing hasn't ran up yet, which is kind of surprising. This Riolu asked me to summon something, so I said, sure. Oh, great power, I need you soon. Please summon me a very aggressive Houndoom. Your horns blazed with fiery orange light, shaking the cavern as your voice carried through the stone like a rolling storm. Oh, great power, I need you soon. Please summon me a very aggressive Houndoom. The air warped, shimmering with heat, into a dark-shaped quad itself into being at the far side of the cave. Flames sparked from its jaws, horns curling like burning scythes. Its crimson eyes looked instantly on the small Riolu, lips curling back in a vicious snarl. Houndoom. It let out it let out a guttural roar, sound echoing through the cavern like thunder. Ground cracked beneath its paws as it lunged forward. Fire began to gather in its throat. Riolu cried out and stumbled back, his tiny paws trembling, but he stood his ground, looking at Lucario with wide, fearful eyes. You said you'd protect the weak. This is your chance. Lucario immediately moved, his body blurred, aura flaring to life in a shimmering blue blaze. He planted himself between the snarling Houndoom and the trembling Riolu. His stance was steady, no fear in his eyes. Houndoom, Lucario roared. If you want to get to him, you'll have to go through me. Houndoom unleashed a stream of fire. Cave flashed orange and red. Lucario crossed his arms, aura gathering into a shield of shimmering blue that blocked the flames. Though the heat licked at his fur, he didn't falter. He didn't strike back with fury. Instead, he growled low, calm but firm. Your quarrel is not with him. If you want to fight, then I'll take it. But I will not let you harm Riolu. Oh, eyes shone as he watched, trembling less now. He could see it. The difference. Lucario's strength wasn't for himself anymore. It was for protection. Okay, so it's actually working. Give me a second. Alright, guys. The limit ran up, and it won't reset until 7:46. But we did get a pretty good long response for this one, which is really good. As I continue watching to see how far Lucario would go to protect that Riolu. The Houndoom snarled, fire dripping from his jaws as it stalked closer. He stepped heavy with menace. It lunged again, jaws snapping, flame bursting toward Riolu. Once more, Lucario's aura surged like a barrier, shielding the small Pokemon behind him. This time, Lucario did not counter with an attack. He only stood firm, spotted between danger and the one he vowed to protect. His voice carried calm determination, even as the fire scorched against his shield. Houndoom, he barked, voice sharp as steel. You will not harm him. I don't want to fight you. If you insist on forcing this path, then strike me instead. Leave the innocent out of this. Rose stared, wide-eyed, his tiny body trembling, but not from fear anymore, from awe. He whispered almost to himself, He's not fighting for pride. He's standing for me. Houndoom roared, enraged, and charged again. Claws raised to tear through Lucario. At the last instant, Lucario shifted, not to dodge, and not to counter, but to absorb the impact, his aura flaring around him to soften the impact. He winced, staggering back a step, but his gaze never left the snarling beast. You can hurt me all you want, Lucario growled, low but steady, but you will never touch him. The cave grew still, the Houndoom skidded to a halt, its eyes narrowing. It saw no fear, no arrogance, no cruelty in Lucario, only unbreakable resolve. For a moment the flames in his throat flickered, and then died out. Summoned creature let out a final growl, then backed away, vanishing in a black mist as your magic released it. Silence followed. The Riolu stepped forward, slowly, eyes glistening. He reached out a tiny paw to Lucario's arm. We meant it, he whispered. You didn't fight to win. You didn't fight for yourself. You only stood to protect me. Lucario knelt down so he could look Riolu in the eyes. His own gaze soft now. I vowed never to let my strength become cruelty again. I'm sorry for the hurt I caused you, but I promise from now on I will use my power only to shield, never to wound. The Riolu smiled faintly, tears shining in his eyes. Then I forgive you. Test passed on the last one. Holy cow. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do this again for the next video in part 301, but let me go and tell you guys, I did go and take some of the other ones that we haven't done yet, and the one we got next is a hummingbird story. I'm not going to give away what it's really about, but it's going to be a really cool story. Obviously, I'm not going to do it right now because, well, obviously I'm not going to do it right now because, well, we don't have flipping, we don't, heck, if I had memory, or if I had storage, no, if I had my free plan still, I would flip and, continue with the dragon for a little bit longer. But unfortunately, I don't, so I can't continue it. But that's okay, guys. That was actually pretty good. I thought I was going to struggle with that since I struggled with it the last time I tried doing it for videos. But it actually worked out really, really well. So, yeah. With that said, guys, I will see you in the next one. Well, it won't be of this if I decide to do another one. But that's it for this video, guys. Bye.